Hi, good morning, and welcome to my presentation of the healing power of forgiveness. So I want you to ask yourself, are you stuck in non-forgiveness? So let's just take a minute and close our eyes and envision ourselves stuck in a dark, cold room. And the only thing that we can feel is our anger and our resentment and our bitterness, sadness, anxiety, depression. The only light that you have in this cold, dark room is the flicker of a projector that is replaying every negative experience that you've ever had. A conflict with a sibling, your heart being broken for the first time, an argument with a close friend or relative over religion or politics, the time your coworker stole your food and denied it. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if the key to unlocking the door to freedom from this cold, dark room came in the form of a key sitting next to the projector, and all you had to do was have the ability to forgive and forget, could you in fact unlock that door and get out? Almost everyone who is asked this question would say, yeah, if I could forgive and get out of here, let me out. But in reality, we never really forget, and we hold on to every image from that projector, and every time that we take back those feelings and emotions attached to the things that created this anger and resentment within us, we in fact put ourselves back in that cold, dark room. We hold on to blaming others, anger. This increases our powerlessness, our resentment, our revenge. So the anger epidemic. So the Mental Health Organization did a survey called Boiling Point. So here are some statistics with this survey. 64% of participants say the world is becoming an angrier place. 32% say they have a close friend or relative who in fact struggles with anger challenges. And only 12% said they themselves have trouble controlling their own anger. My own opinion is probably that's higher, but a lot of us can't recognize where our anger is stemming from. 84% agreed that people should be encouraged to seek help if they have problems with anger. So in 300 BC, a Greek philosopher by the name of Aristotle, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, stated that anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, this is not easy. So in fact, anger requires wisdom. So what is the answer to this problem? First, we need to know who we are. Not who we are in the world, but who we are in the eyes of God. As all of us are sinners, and sinners need to be forgiven in order to be healed, so that we can be made whole again and have peace with our families, our neighbor, our nation, and most importantly, peace with God. Forgive and forget. The more you plot and wish them harm, the more harm you actually bring to yourself. The more you hold on to anger, the more miserable your life will become. Even if your enemy never acknowledges any wrongdoing, never offers you an apology, forgive him. Will free you of the heavy burden of bitterness. So here's a qualitative study that provides some evidence too. So the study conducted by Akhtar, Dolan, and Barlow found that a majority of the participants who engaged in active forgiveness as a positive coping skill had increased awareness of the reduction of depression, anxiety, and stress. All of those things that you were feeling in the dark room can be released and an increase in overall subjective well-being. So overall, we feel better internally, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally when we can give forgiveness and we can forget the transgression. So let's look at somebody who just speaks volumes about the healing power of forgiveness, right? So Nelson Mandela, he was imprisoned for 27 years for merely speaking out against the African government who was committing heinous crimes and injustices and abuse against the African citizens. Even while physically imprisoned, Mandela found ultimate freedom, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, by choosing to forgive. And I love this quote as he stated, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness behind and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." How powerful is that? Again, that room in our head, we keep ourselves imprisoned when we refuse to forgive. So what are the consequences of a cultural cliche? Never forgive, never forget. Or sometimes we'll hear, yeah, I can forgive, but I'll never forget. Well, if we continue with that, we will continue to be an argumentative culture, resentful and rejecting of others' opinions, cultures, and values. Our lives will be controlled by fear and regret. Our loved ones and friends will pass away having never received the redemptive power of forgiveness and love. Marriages and families will continue to dissolve. We will continue to be plagued with anger, resentment, isolation, and a barrier placed between self, Christ, and our community. So now I challenge you to close your eyes and visualize that key to freedom sitting on the table next to that projector. I challenge you to write down the name of every person who has ever harmed you or transgressed against you, and write down every time that you have ever caused harm to someone else. I want you to place that list on the table, and I want you to grab that key and free yourself from the bondage of that room. You have the right to forgive, you have the right to forget, and you have the right to heal. And remember, always live your purpose. And here is my reference page. I highly recommend that you read the study, Understanding the Relationship Between the State of Forgiveness and Psychological Well-Being by Akhtar Dolan and Barlow. It's a great read, and have a very blessed day.